I want to share some of my photographic artworks. If you saw my last video, I am giving away digital photo frames with my artworks preloaded on them for donations to ALS United North Carolina. If you make a $500 donation to ALS United NC, I will send you a 10-inch digital photo frame with my artworks. For a $1,000 donation, you will get a 15-inch frame with my artworks. And if you make a $5,000 donation, I will send to you a 21-inch digital photo frame preloaded with my photographic artworks on it. These donations need to be made through my ALS Walk fundraising page, which I have a link to on my profile page and in the description for this video. 100% of your donation goes to ALS United North Carolina, who will use it to support services for people living with ALS, their families, and their caregivers. These are some of the services that ALS United provides. Support groups for people living with ALS and others who are suffering the detrimental mental and physical effects of this terrible disease. Care coordinators who provide valuable information to people newly diagnosed with ALS and as the disease progresses at each of the 7 multidisciplinary ALS clinics across North Carolina. ALS United has a loan closet full of equipment for both short-term and long-term loans, when a person living with ALS can't afford or can't wait for insurance approval for something. I donated a couple rollators, my old hospital bed, and my old power wheelchair to the loan closet. They host community building events for people living with ALS and their families and friends, such as an ALS night with the Carolina Hurricanes, Lou Gehrig nights with baseball teams across the state, and of course the ALS walks that bring together people affected by this deadly disease. Research into treatments and hopefully eventually a cure for this horrific disease. ALS United provides care grants to help ease the tremendous financial burdens that come with an ALS diagnosis, often exceeding $100,000 a year. And ALS United advocates on behalf of the entire ALS community for more government funding for research and treatments. This is why ALS United deserves your support. They are here helping the actual people living with ALS and their families through support groups, grants, a loan closet, community building activities, being there to answer questions, and research and advocacy. Again, I have links to donate on my profile page and in the description for this video. I'm starting to sound like an infomercial. Now back to talking about the photographic artworks you're seeing. I used to mostly shoot film, and black and white was my favorite. I shot 35mm, medium format, and 4x5 large format, you know, the kind with a big camera on a tripod, where you have to stick your head under a cloth to take a photo. Large format photography is very methodical, and I loved it for that. I would sometimes spend 3 hours to make a single photograph. In grad school, I began to experiment with defocusing the image, which you can see in many of these artworks. Some people think they look like miniatures, as if I'm photographing a model railroad set. I like to think of them as what a giant would see if they looked upon us and our world as a toy. I also love the spontaneity of 35mm photography and its ability to capture a natural moment, documenting a time and place exactly as it is, and never will be again. And I love doing this with film, because you don't take 100 shots to get the perfect expression, and you don't have a digital screen to immediately review your image. Instead, what you get is something more natural, truer to the moment. Sure, you sometimes miss the shot. but that's what hones your skills, so you're ready the next time. That's part of the magic of film photography, something that is missing with the photos we take every day with our smartphones. And that's why I love teaching photography at Radford University, in an art department that still embraces film and the darkroom. Sorry to blather on and on. I wanted to show many of my photographic artworks without having them blaze by at 1 second per image. Even small donations make a difference, so I will pick a random donor under $500 to receive a 10-inch digital photo frame, one entry for every $5 you donate. But you have to act quickly. You need to make your donation before the walk on April 25th, so you have less than a week to donate.